Hello again, and welcome back to Little Whimsey, Episode 2. We had hoped to get this out a couple of days earlier. It wasn't a case of life getting in the way. We have been delightfully busy the past week. I've been trying to put Little Whimsy together structurally, and Elaine has had a number of things on the go. She has enlisted my help as I have enlisted hers. Delightfully busy is a refreshing change. We're all used to staring down deadlines and having to do things by a given time, by a given date, for given people. And delightfully busy is still a bit of a deadline, doing it for people, sometimes just for ourselves. Gotta-dos around the house. But we've taken real joy in it the past few days. Good progress has been made. It's been happy work. And the fruits of our labors are being enjoyed. So delightfully busy, I think, is the accurate term. In episode 2, we're going to be taking you back in time. We have a couple of pictures of how Little Whimsy actually began. This is a reenactment. Cell phones weren't common back when we started this. And I'll be going through some of the construction stuff. I have short videos. The next week I'll be running Whimsy full bore for everyone. But in the meantime, we're learning how to do all of this. I am not terribly technically apt myself, and my patience with computers can be measured in fragments of a millimeter. Elaine is much better at it, and she is learning as she goes. We both are. Life is like that, and if this presentation is a little not quite so smooth and professionally done as a lot of them, it shows. We're learning. It reminds me a lot of starting flight training. You don't climb into an aircraft and start doing all those wonderful things that airplanes can do. You've got to learn the basics, take it step by step, and work on what you've learned. And slowly but surely it does all come together. One of my favorite cartoons was a gentleman who came home with the leather flying helmet and the boots and the riding crop and said to his wife, "Today I soloed, my dear. I can do anything a bird can do." And his wife simply looked at him and said, "You can sit on a barbed wire fence?" Right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, we're going to take you back in time, bring you forward into the beginnings of episode 1 when I said I would be putting it together, and you'll see just what kind of a mess I get into. One thing I'm thankful for through all of it is that while I have fun wiring all the lights together and figuring out where the batteries need to go, at least I don't have to do the plumbing for the entire village, and that would be a real show. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun, and the fact that we've been delightfully busy doing other things just adds variety to retirement life. This afternoon, my granddaughter is going to arrive again after school, and I'm going to make sure that one of my latest projects meets her approval. I found a few cars, dinky toy style, small metal cars from when I was a child. A couple of them were almost pristine. Most of them looked like they'd been sitting in the wrecking yard, and I'm restoring them as best I can to present them in Little Whimsy because people have cars. When I was putting the trees out, I realized all we had was evergreens, and that gets a little annoying, so I'm working on a hardwood forest. Hardwoods in the winter, not the most interesting things, but I just felt they had to be represented in some form. But I put my imagination to work, and they're hardwood trees, but you've never seen anything like these ones. I'm going to close for now, let the pictures and the videos roll, and we'll pick this up towards the end. Thanks for watching. I hope you find it interesting. Just before we show these videos of constructing Whimsy, I'd like to apologize for the pictures. Elaine and I have different types of phones. They require different settings, and I did not have my phone on the correct picture setting. You'll see the images, but they're not great. And I am not taking the entire thing apart and redoing it so we can shoot it properly. In its original configuration, Whimsy was one building, one train, not running, and it appeared in our dining room. Later in life, it moved to a table of its own in the living room, became two tables, too big for the living room, and the last few years it has grown steadily and moved out back. And this is Little Whimsy in the early construction phase. We have some table legs up. Little Whimsy underside is up against the wall. That's Whimsy Winter Park leaning up against the wall. That's Whimsy Winter Park leaning behind it. And over here we have a Whimsy Dell table, along with the usual structural components and lots of styrofoam to help build the corners and make the mountain. And here we have the first table of the three. This one will hold Little Whimsy. It's not terribly elegant, but it is sturdy. Rather high, but we have grandchildren. And these are the bins containing the contents. 4 bins of buildings, 1 bin of spare parts, 1 box of electronics, and 1 box containing some new additions just for this year. It's been a process. Elaine and I put it up together. I used to do it myself, but after 60 odd years I've finally learned that asking for help can make the job easier. Now all I have to do is erect a town. So I have put in the streets and the houses where I would like them to go. It's a combined process. Houses determine where the streets are, streets determine where the rest of the houses go. So it's a case of mix and match and try back and forth until you finally manage to get something right. Oh, and the road will eventually make it under the railway tracks instead of over. That's for a little later on. So far, so good. I can hardly wait to start with the electrical lighting, and then we'll get some of the trees and hopefully some of the figures in after we've moved the table to its final position. So, this is the final layout for Little Whimsy this year. We had to reorganize things partway through and added 3 buildings, 2 from the other tables, 1 new one. And I have the railway car at the end because turn radius is an important factor and you don't want to be sideswiping buildings as you go around the track. So I think I've accommodated everything here. The electrical wiring is done. Tomorrow the remainder of the trees and figurines go in, and we will start on Whimsy Park. More later. Well, it's taken me a day longer than I'd hoped, but we have the table up for Whimsy Park, and we are now going to be working on making a mountain out of a platform, testing a locomotive, and getting some more electrical wiring done. Believe it or not, this empty expanse in a day or 2 will look pretty busy. All right. The park is beginning to get fleshed out. Nothing in any particular order except the buildings. You can see my caboose disappearing under the mountain, and the train's caboose, not my caboose. And the mountain is being roughed in very well. That's little Joe emerging from what will be his tunnel. Okay, I have both tables roughed in to set out figures and accessories. And that's a process because my granddaughter absolutely loves to put them in position and help me put all the people where she thinks they belong. Very often they all wind up riding in boxcars on the trains, which is fine. That used to drive me berserk, but then I looked at Little Whimsey through the mind of a child, and why not have some fun with it? As you may have noticed at the bottom of the screen, I've been working hard on the electrical wiring. This is a process. We have 5 different types of lights, not including the battery-operated ones, that we're slowly getting rid of. But some of them are dedicated to particular houses, and they all require light bars to plug in. So the challenge is to assemble the lights so that you get the most efficient use of them. And at the end of the day, there is one button and one button only that controls the entire setup. So down here we have a light bar with one black button, and hit that and everything comes on except for the battery powered accessories that require me to run all over the place and hit little buttons hidden under snow. And that's just part of the fun. Yes, this is a ZW transformer. It's not fully functional, but it does the trick. I can run accessories and two trains on it. No problems at all. The nice part about this is, as you can tell by some of the track, it's an old set. Some of it is almost as old as I am, and with a little bit of reconditioning and some work, not done by me, but by people who know better, the engines and the cars are running as well as they did when they were made. Testimony to engineering and 1950s technology. Well, very soon I'm going to put out another wad of trees and figures for my granddaughter to have fun with. And then I will get to Whimsy Dell, the farming area of the entire Christmas village. And that will be set and ready to go. Oh, by the way, just as a note, we have, courtesy my wife, the seamstress, fabric that we hang on the edge of the table to hide that incredible mess underneath and make it look all neat and tidy for the season. It wouldn't work without her. So I'm going to get busy with my cordless electric and get some legs on another table, and hopefully this afternoon I will be doing more electrical wiring. Well, we've hoped you enjoyed the last few minutes looking at Little Whimsy being formed again for Christmas of 24. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience. Next time, I think I'll be able to deliver some live shots of Whimsy under full illumination with sound effects, with the trains up and running. And I'll be able to point out a few things by way of details we've included this year that are absolutely wonderful additions. Some of them gifted, some of them products of our own imagination, and some of it just the way that Whimsy works. You didn't know it was going to go that way, but it did, and it turns out great. We'll be doing not only a few details of items on Whimsy and Whimsy Park, Whimsy Dell, but we'll be introducing you to a couple of the imaginary characters as well. They're based loosely on a bunch of people that Elaine and I have met over the years. You know how people work. So these are just ordinary folk with real life stories. They just happen to live in a Christmas village. Imagination is a wonderful thing. Dreams are terrific things. By all means, until I appear on your screen again, please keep your imaginations alive, keep your dreams at the forefront, and just remember, you never know what's going to happen with a little whimsy.